Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are in the world. My name's Jade, and you know what this is? It's how to app on iOS. Boom. Today we're taking a look at BLEASS's brand new multiband compressor. It's pretty damn good. Oh yeah, what's going on everybody? You're doing well. Hope you're all happy and smiling. If you're not, hopefully this next hour of entertainment or whatever it is, appfotainment, will bring a smile to your face or not. Yeah, I'm Jade. Welcome to the show. It's getting close to the end of the week here. It's Thursday, Wednesday for the rest of you living outside of Australia. And I'm excited because we've got some cool stuff coming up tomorrow. Man, I've got a double header tomorrow doing a show here with my good friend Peter Johns. And then I'm heading over to Peter Johns' web show and we're going to do a show with him. We've got a double header tomorrow, so that's pretty exciting. Welcome. If you are a Wart Warrior, you too can become a Wart Warrior by clicking the join button down below for fancy emojis that you normally see floating around, floating heads, all this stuff of members that I change weekly. And so if you remember and you haven't sent me your head, send me some head. I love getting head. But don't we all? So if you haven't sent me a photo of your head, send me a photo of your head and shoulders and I'll turn it into an emoji. Thanks, Thomas, for typing that, for putting that in there. Thomas is our amazing main moderator, the king of all moderators, the king of kings, and he is coming up next after this show playing your most rockin' music. Yeah, with your... I nearly said your music live. Why do I do that, Thomas? It's so stupid. With you rock, Thomas. SuperChats, SuperStickers, welcome. Become a Patreon. Hey, if you're a Patreon, folks, you're not going to want to miss this week's Patreon show. It's going to be heaps of fun. We're going to laugh our asses off for 2 hours. I've got a fun show coming up. And next week, we got a really fun show coming up. We're going to be delving back into AI, my friends. And let me tell you, it's going to get silly. So I'm really pumped for that. Let's say hello to everybody else who's here. Legs 11, Tremor Bear, Cold Acre, Jim Shannon, the Mix Club, Rhett. It was good to chat with you, Rhett, and that song was pretty funny. All the songs you've been making are funny. Scott Borthwick, g'day Scotty. Ed Z, the Z to the E. Who else? Brad Example. Brad, did you see the song? Did you hear the songs, Brad? Go to the Clubhouse chat, man. You need to hear the songs, Brad. Oh, man, we were laughing last night. Rise of Dark Leela's in the house. She just had a fantastic live performance. If you haven't checked out Rise of Dark Leela, she's one of our great mods here. She makes great music. She does app tutorials and stuff, and she does a show before this very show, 3 days a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, US time. So hit her up for a subscription. Go support her. She works really hard, right? And we love her dearly. So there's that. What else do I have to cover before we get into today's app? Brad Example. There he is. Look at that. There's Brad shaking on the booble lacquers. Feisty Feather, what's going on? Yeah, Leela was rad today. She was she did Smooth Operator then. It was mint, that Smooth Operator cover. I was trying to get ready for the show and had a puddle. It was very good. Yes, Cold Acre, Rhett's tribute to Metalhead Hippie was very touching, very, very touching. I was touching myself many times to it. All right. We are looking at BLEASS's brand new compressor. I know you're probably going, compressor? That sounds absolutely boring. But guess what? This compressor is rad. It's a multi-band compressor. It's very, very OTT. And there's a bunch of presets that are OTT as well. So there is that. What do I need to say before we go on? I think I just need to do this, don't I? Where is it? the Beat community. Let's go over to the Beat community and check this out. So, updates. Nembrini has their audio IR loader on sale. New features for the Weeping Wall. Remember we did the Weeping Wall app, which is like this delay kind of sampler that drips down the wall and makes all these really interesting sounds. It's had an update. So if you own that, there's an update. We are taking a look also next week at Mila 5. So Mila 5 has had many iterations, Mila 1, 2, 3, 4, and on the latest version 5, it's gone to a free download with in-app purchases. But if you owned Mila 4, you get all of the things that you had in Mila 4 in Mila 5, and the new update is an in-app purchase. We'll be covering that next week as well. It is a very over-the-top synth. There's just a lot of beautiful sounds, and the whole modulation system in this thing is mint. I've covered Mila 4. If you want to go back in the past and go watch that, you can do so. Price drops. What do we have? So this thing has come to my attention. October chip tune maker. Somebody sent me this yesterday. It's free. It's a chip tune creator. I'm going to get it right now. I'm going to buy it right now. It's free. I'll just do that off camera so you don't see all the dirty details. I don't know what this looks like. It's not an AUV or anything like that, but you can save. You can load apparently NES ROM files and stuff like this in here, and you can save this out to MIDI and then use it for things. So it's not an AUV3. So there's that. Free. What do you say? October chiptune maker. Go grab it. Looks like fun. We may do a show on it. Who knows? Greg O'Sullivan, what's going on? Good to see you, my friend. BAM's on sale. Audio Thing apps are on sale. Same deal as yesterday. Not much has changed, but we're looking at BLEASS Multiband Compressor today. It is a $6.99 compressor for iOS. If we open it up on the App Store here, it'll tell us what it is available for. So it works on iPad, iPhone, and iPod Touch. Does it have a counterpart for PC and desktop? Well, guess what? Of course it does, because nearly everything that comes out now on iOS is available on desktop. It is just getting that way. So it is currently $19.99 for this compressor on your AU and your VSTs from the BLEASS.com website. So there it is here. We're going to open it up, have a play with it. It's a lot more than a compressor. It's a very good distortion machine, can create some really awesome distortion, sound sculpting, you know, that kind of stuff. It's a bit deeper than a compressor. So we've got a couple of examples to use it today. This first one is very bland, very basic. I just wanted to show you the side chaining to kick it off. We've got a couple of instances of Synth Master. We got a bass, King of Bass from Audio Kit Pro, and a hammerhead that I've split the drums up into 8 individual tracks. Very simple, controlled by scaler, but we'll just play it and then I'll bring in the compressors on the music. The drums already have compression on them, and I'll shut up and let's hit go. Alrighty, sweet stuff. So let's talk about the sidechain while we've got this open. So if you don't know what sidechaining is, yeah, yes, it is available for Mac. So through the BLEASS website, Tremor Bear, $19 it's on sale for at the moment, $19.99. It's a AU and VST from BLEASS.com. So totally available, but it will go up to $29.99. And I think this may go up as well too. I'm not sure. I would have to have a look. We'll try and remember to check that out later on. So what is sidechaining? You want to know what sidechaining is. Now, you would have heard, let's give you an example of it, just so for those of you who don't know what sidechaining is, we can give you a quick sample. So I'm just going to play the kick drum here. We're going to solo this kick drum, and we're going to solo this synthesizer. So when I hit play, we've got our kick hitting, and you can hear that synthesizer underneath. So a sidechain is, it basically allows, the compressor allows the kick to come through the mix, and it drops the synthesizer. So you get a sound that is like a pumping sound with the synthesizer, where it's going and dropping level and then popping back up. If I just solo the synth right now and take out the kick, you will hear it doing its thing. Let's turn on the sidechain. Let's turn it off. So just so you know how it works, another quick breakdown is the synthesizer is playing its chords, da, 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 and it's listening for an input. And every time that input comes through, which is the kick going doof, 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 every time that input is triggered, the synthesizer drops volume quickly to create that warbling sound, yeah? Like this. Essentially making room for the kick. So, really easy to set up a sidechain in this. All you need to do is actually go in, hey Ed Bemetal, what's happening? All you need to do is go into your, so whatever you're using, and you put your you put your BLEASS compressor on the actual thing you want to sidechain. You want to breathe, to pump, to do that. And then you would go over here to our kick. Let's just remove this. So here's the kick drum. And instead of adding another instance of the app, you just would go in here and click multibus and then choose the compressor as a, so you can go in here and choose the multi, and it creates the parallel compressor. So now it's listening for this sound in here. It's a little bit different over on Logic, which we'll show you later. But there you go. That's the parallel compressor. Shall we load this up? I think I've got this saved. So we'll clear this out. What do you say? Would BLEASS Multiband Compressor kind of make knock? Oh, I think they're totally different. I definitely think. You'll see, Jim. This is that's more of a transient. You know, that works more on the transients, where this is a compressor. This uses the multibands to use a low, mid, and high to really compress certain sections. So if we just load up a drum for now, let's just bring in some drums with Hammerhead. Keep it nice and simple so you can hear what's going on. And we'll run through all these controls, presets. We'll just find a basic. There we go. Okay, so here's our drum beat. We're going to add our BLEASS multiband. Now this is set to the initial patch, so nothing much is going on. Just going to lower the sound a little bit. Let's run through where everything is. Okay, so your sidechain section, I'll just stop this for now. So We'll start from the top. If you need any help from BLEASS, you need to get in contact with them. You find a bug or anything like that, remember, Contact Us is here. Click the Contact Us, send an email to BLEASS. Let them know if you come across a bug, something irritating, so they can fix it. Don't go on the App Store and leave a review. That's a terrible thing to do, really horrible. You've got Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You can go straight to their website, all that kind of stuff. Here's a website down here, has a link. Easy peasy beneasy to find it. Most apps have this information if you need to find the developer. We have a preset pack, very BLEASS looking. It's a very BLEASS looking app. They have a very similar aesthetic every time with their apps. Very clean, very simple, colorful, easy to understand. Presets are in here. Lots of presets to go through. Yeah, they're all separated into sections as well. Light, hard, sidechain. So they light up as you click them. So these are all your sidechain mixes here, all your sidechain presets, distorted presets, creative presets, utility presets. So there's a nice mix of presets. You can do a search for them. You can save new presets. Easy. You pretty much should know how to save presets. It's a pretty standard thing. You have a randomization dice. Click it. It'll randomize everything, I do believe, except for, as I go through this, it doesn't randomize the general and the sidechain section. Only all of this, right? So you can see, and I think it does the master at the end. So all this third section is randomized within here. Yeah. Let's go back to our init patch, default, whatever you want. Do a search. Is there an init? There it is. Init patch. Boom. Cool. Let's break it down. So your sidechain section is over here. This is the first section. Everything's multicolored, so you know how to find it. We love that. We have a general, we'll get back to the sidechain. The general section is classed as, excuse me, sorry about that. The the general section is an overall, like volume, power, input, everything for all of the compressors, because there are 3 compressors in here. There's a low compressor, a mid compressor, and a high compressor, right? They can all be used individually, but this is your general overall. So you've got your input selector, so your volume, your input volume. You have your ATT factor. What is that? It globally adjusts all the compressor's attack times. So this is your attack. This controls, so you can see when I bring this down over here, the attack comes down over here, and it's the same for all 3 of them that are selected. So if all of them are running, all 3 multiband compressors, and I use this overall, the attack factor is going to control everything. Your release factor will control all the releases all together. You have a knee. You've got a below attack. So your below attack applies a multiplier of 2 to 15 to the below compressor attack times. These are the below compressors, and these are the above compressors. So you can change this from 2 times to 15. And all right, we've got a look ahead over here. So an overall look ahead adds a short delay of 2 to 5 milliseconds to the signal being processed, but not the side chain. So this is just your general stuff here. Double tap anything and it will go back to original. We'll turn that off, bring this here. Let's move over to the multi-band stuff. So you have the power to decide how much of the 3 bands will be featured in the compression, and this is across the top here, and this is your central panel. So you can change the width of your low end up here. You can bring your high end up. Look, we've got lots of mid end in there, yeah. So you can bring the high up, squash that mid down. So up the top is where you control how much is coming through. Give me a second. So this is your crossover. So that's your crossover for your mid band, low, mid, and high. You have band thresholds. So let's talk about this. Your band thresholds. Each band has 2 thresholds modified by dragging the markers. So you've got a top compressor and a low compressor. The upper markers control the above compression threshold. The lower controls the lower compression threshold. All right, so everything in the middle is what you're looking at. If we hit play here, let's give you an example of using these. So by pulling these in, you see we've pulled out all of that low, right? And we could really pump up the mids and highs. So you can see you've got individual multi-band compressors. And when you click on each one, the compressor changes. So we can go in here and we can manipulate this over here. So it changes with whichever band is selected, and the same down here. So your attack, your above ratio, your above threshold, your below threshold, below ratio, and your release. They change alongside everything with these. So you can change it from here, or you can go in here and do the same thing. You know, change your above, your attack, all of that kind of stuff from within here. And you have a wet master all at the end and a dry master as well. So you can get a nice mix between the dry sound and your wet. It's not just a one slider deal, which is nice, really cool. We've got a soft clip down the bottom, so you can turn it on and just make sure nothing goes out of control and everything's kind of safe. And you do actually have a dry wet mix down here. So you have to pull the dry wet mix down to get access to go in and individually play with your master stuff. Let's head back over to our compressors here. Just going to reselect our init patch. Okay, so we do have for each of the multi-bands, we've got a solo. So now we can just hear what's going on with the low end. You can mute it. We can go into our high, our mid, and hear what's happening with our compressor. And we can solo the high as well. So you can only solo one at a time. You can turn them off as well. So if we unsolo, they've got a little on and off switch. If you only want to keep, say just the low, you can turn these off. We have an input and an output for each of them. Now, as I said at the beginning, it's a lot of opportunity for soundscaping with distortions. Get some really filthy, grimy stuff. Talk about our sidechain. So you do have your sidechain over here. You can turn this on, and it's currently off. There are three. Come on, mouse. There are three sections for the sidechain: on, off, internal, and external. So with the external, you can actually the sidechain for the bands, they activate under the target, are fed with a separate signal. So they actually fed back into themselves. Let's turn this on. And within the sidechain, we have a high pass and a low pass. Our listen button will tell you, it will show you what's going on. This is the sidechain. So when you hit listen, you can actually hear what's going on, what is being added, what is actually happening here. So now if we bring this back on, but currently it's not being sent anywhere. Why is that? Because down the bottom we have 3 targets. You can decide where you want to send the sidechain. You might only want to send it to the high end. So you can do that. You can send it to all 3 of them if you want. And you'll notice once you change your sidechain feature, then these changed. You no longer have a below threshold and a below ratio, because the sidechain is, the internal sidechain is taking care of that. You only have your above threshold and your above ratio and attack and release, right? Yes, the individual, as I'm saying here, these parameters can be changed individually for here. You can't actually set the side chain individually. It's one side chain and you can only decide where they're going to go, right? So there's that, just so you know. But all the other controls for each individual one here, even when the side chain's on, you're still able to control the in and out of these and the individual above ratio, but you lose your below ratio because the side chain takes over. Pookie, love you, Pookie. Good to see you, Pookie. Let me give you a up. Oh, Pookie. I'll give you a Mr. Smith leg. Thank you, Pookie, so much. A whole bunch of people just got memberships, which didn't have them before. Welcome home, Pookie. You rock. Right, so you also, as we mentioned before, you've got external side chaining as well, which we looked at the start, and that can be accessed here. Here's your external, so you need to have something going in, like a kick drum or whatever, to activate this side chain. That's pretty much it, man. That's it. I've done shows on compression before. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of explaining compression. We're going to run through some presets and on these drums now and just show you just how nasty some of these presets can get. And then we're going to look at a project in Logic. Let's just go through some presets and make sure everything's on. Give it some volume. So I'm just going to flip from left to right. Hey, East Virginia Studios. Listen to that, man. What's really, I'll tell you, let me tell you something about this compressor. What's really beautiful, it's got a really clean, when you really push it hard, it's got a really clean ability to pull out noises. And just say like in a, say you've got a trumpet. You've got a sample of a trumpet playing. And you know how you can hear the keys of the trumpet playing, being touched on the trumpet? This can really bring those out. It's just a really nice compressor. It can be used very extremely, or it can be used just as a compressor, yeah? So you can hear how that's bringing out the mids. You can really bury that high end. So this is a drum machine compressor. I mean, it's beautiful, isn't it? This multiband is so sexy. Rip out all that high end and mid. So that's using the internal compressor, this one. A lot of drum stuff in here. So a lot of presets are just like really nice jumping points to get off as well if you don't know what you're doing. Now we're getting as I said, distortion. So being able to split up these 3 bands and create like a distorted sound in the mid end, nice punchy bass in the low end, it's just really, really sexy. Let's take a break for a minute. You guys know what time it is. It's halfway point. Every day on the show, we take a half hour break to bow down to my YouTube overlords and get paid 3 cents per show. That would be different if amazing people like Poogie didn't gift memberships and stuff like that. So we need to run the ad. Run the ad gives you time to like adjust, not miss anything from the show. That's why I do this. If you're wondering, the ad has been run. You may or may not get an ad. You can avoid the ad by becoming a YouTube Premium member. And while we're waiting for the ad to run and do all of its magic stuff, let me tell you what's going on here tomorrow. Pete Johns is coming on the show. We're talking about how to distribution. All your answers, come and bring all your questions. Come and bring your questions to me and Pete. We'll answer as much as we can. We'll try and find little nooks and crannies and special things that you can do to help with your distribution, using digital distribution to its fullest. And then after that, I do believe I am going on Pete Johns' show, apparently, from what I've heard. Let me find it. Apparently, I'm going on Pete Johns' show as well. And we are going to be... immediately after my show, we're talking about writing lyrics. So come and join us straight after my show tomorrow. We're going to be talking about writing lyrics on his podcast. I have no idea what we're going to talk about. So it should be exciting stuff. Typical, usual fun and frivolity and stupidity and whatever else you want to call it. And on Friday, we're back with the new bass hammer bass amp from Membrini. Taking a look at that, so I get to play some bass this weekend, so that's really cool. And this week's rant coming up, I'll tell you, is all about comedy. So you're not going to want to miss that, let me tell you that. Let's bounce back over here and hit play. We've got a de-esser in here. Yes, this can be used on vocals, guitars, whatever you want. It's a compressor. Really nice, using a de-esser on stuff. Here's our default sound. So we've got 4 of these, disrespectful 1, 2, 3, and you can hear immediately, oh, that has made a difference. You can feel that in your genitals. Beautiful, man. What a lovely compressor. Where are we? I want to find some of the distorted stuff. Let's go over to distortion. last one. So we've got a noise gate in here too. You can hear what that's doing straight away. All right, pretty rad stuff. I'm going to open up a song now, and then we're going to jump over to Logic to wrap up and show you how to sidechain over in Logic and run through some other sounds. It's a compressor, man, but it's a pretty nifty compressor for $7, $6.99. Let me tell you that. I'm just going to head over here and grab this song. Let's do this. We're going to open this in AUM. This is a song by Russ8889. And I just think he makes great music to throw a compressor on. Let's see. Is this going to work? Where's that song? Let's see what we can do with Russ's track here. So you can hear immediately. We're not driving this too crazy. Boom! This is a track by Russ8889. Thank you, my Aussie perpetual pussy. P. You can hear exactly what's going on here with our compressor. It's a fucking slick compressor, let me tell you. All right, let's open up Logic and get over there and mess around there. So you can see, just messing around with a compressor, just with an overall song, really slick. You don't have to go excessive, but if you want to create some distorted noise, go over the top, perfect for sound sculpting. I've got a little project in here in Logic, which is nice. So basically, I've got a sidechain happening here. We've got, now all of these have BLEASS Multiband Compressor attached to them. Let's play the track. So I don't have the compressors on at the moment. We can turn them on. Let's bring on this drum. You can hear that bass come alive. Listen to that guitar pop. Bring the horns up. How good is that? So this compression on here is almost giving us a reverb effect. Such a hard compressor on there. Using the internal sidechain on itself. So basically down here, now it's probably not a good example, but we have the sidechain running on this at the moment. And you can tell when the sidechain is running. How do you set up a sidechain here in Logic? Let me tell you, you can, so we're on this Pearl Chorus synth at the bottom, and you can see on the actual little project down here, see this little arrow? None of these have the little arrow, right? So there you go. So how do we attach a sidechain to a sound? You open it up and you'll see on all of these up the top is a little sidechain option. And you can go in here and decide whatever you want to sidechain into this. So we can go internal, external, bring our external in here. Now you can start to hear this is being affected now by the kick drum. So you can see this is the kick coming through. Oh, wow, wow, wow. And we've got the targets going to the mid and high. So let's just stop and show you how you do this. In your sidechain, you see this in every one of. So you need to have the BLEASS Multiband Compressor on the two tracks that you're actually going to sidechain. So I've got it set up on the drums, and you want to go into the one that is receiving the beat, the thing that is going to pump the actual compressor. So we are in the this thing here, and here you get to choose where you'd like to, what you'd like to use as your sidechain. Let me just bring the volume down. So we've got audio tracks in here. So I could use this rhythm. I can use the instrument. So we've got drums. So I've chosen the kick drum to be the sidechain. I can go in here and choose audio. Let's do this bass. So now the bass will be the actual thing that's creating the sidechain. So that is how you set up your sidechain. Nice and easy to do. Let's mess around with this guitar. So I just have a parallel compressor on here. So easy to bring your sound to life by doing not much. Let's go ahead and turn these compressors off, this mix. Sounds like an absolutely dead, horrible, zombified, depressing mix now. It is the Corey Wong guitars, Tremor. Let's mess about with this. I mean, you want to go mental with this? You can do so. Absolutely. Let's just leave this compressor on here. Let's focus on our drums for a second. Thank you so much, East Virginia Studios. Let me just address Jim's set of rules here. Jim, have you been following rules to make music? Let me tell you, Jim, there's your first mistake. The minute you start believing rules and places where things need to be used, compressors can be used wherever you like. Compressors can be used to pop things out in the mix. Compressors are used on vocal chains. Compressors are used on the final chain. They can be used wherever you like. They can be used for sound design. They can be used to bring up volume across an overall mix of a song. Compressors have no rules, man. The minute you start limiting yourself to certain places that compressors should go is the minute that you are slicing out at least 3/4 of creativity that you can be using. So if you're listening to people who are telling you this can only be used here, you're listening to dumb cunts. Am I clear on that? It is what it is, man. Like, you know, compressors can be used to create all kinds of beautiful effects, all kinds of different textures, noise, distortions. So, you know, try and think outside and this is what this app is about. This is what BLEASS always do, try and make apps that, you know, take an original concept and then they try and stretch it out, take it outside the box and make it pretty and easy to use. And that's what they've done with this as well. So try not to fall into the trap of believing people as like, this is the only way to do things. Experimentation is always the place to go. And popping a compressor on something that feels a little bit just not cutting through, no matter how much you EQ, it can just bring it up. I mean, this is almost like an EQ. Well, it is a multiband compressing EQ, yeah? So don't be afraid to use it wherever you goddamn like. But it is great. On a master bus, absolutely, you know. But as you've heard today, we've made some really precise drums. And remember, you've got this dice here that you can test your luck with. If you're into testing your luck, probably not a good way to go if you're seriously recording something. But who knows? You may land on something sexy. Look, a parallel compression. The parallel compression in here, the presets are really nice. And these presets are a really nice place to start. If you don't really understand, you can get in here, start messing about if you like. Let's use our internal compressor on this mid. Now that's filthy. Absolutely. What Greg writes here, you can learn a lot from presets. I mean, don't be afraid to mess around with presets. Load them up, because what you'll get is, from going through presets, is hearing how the sounds have changed and looking at what has changed here, what has moved around. You know, so a good jump off place if you're a little bit scared, you know. And it's okay to be scared. Compression scares a lot of people, but the idea of compression is to try and bring things, levels up, low things that may be down a little bit lower, you know, when things are a bit uneven. Vocals that have loud peaks, to try and bring those up and give them some kind of balance without losing loudness. So, you know, but compression can also be used as you can see here, as a texture, as a distortion. Again, it doesn't have to be used in the absolutely, you know, standard way that people have been saying to use it forever and ever. It can be used these days with the amazing amount of apps that we have that take compression and take it another step. We can do sound design with compression and really do some crazy out-of-the-box stuff. So there you have it. Hopefully you've got a little bit out of this. It's a great app. It's really easy to fucking use. It looks beautiful, very colorful, very simple. You know, and that's what you want. You want things that are not hard to understand. Hopefully I haven't muddied your brain too much by doing this show and you feel a little bit lost. What did we say it was? I can't remember. $19.99 currently for Mac and PC. And on the iOS, you're looking at something or other. $6.99. Now, I don't know if it's, I said I'd go back and look at this. Is it in... can't see, it doesn't say on here that it's an intro price, so I can't tell you 100% for sure. But there we go. It's a compressor. It's rad. Good times. We're going to get out of here today. Remember, Pete's up with me tomorrow. It's going to be fun. Thomas Christ is coming up next with You Rock, where he plays your most rocking music. See, Thomas? I'm amazing. I got it down. All right. But today we're going to feature a brand new person here that we've never played before, because I'm often looking for new people, and this particular artist has left many comments on my videos on Facebook. And I said to him this week, I'm going to play your music. And this is Sander Wolf. He was here in the chat. Was it yesterday or the day before? So he's been making music for a long period of time. He's got he's got about, what's he got? 223 subscribers. There's a pinned comment up the top in the chat. So go and check out his YouTube channel. He's got a website where he does art and creativity and music. Let's go and check it out. There's a whole lot of content there. We love featuring new artists here on the channel. This is Sander Wolf, and this is an Audio Kit Nerd demo that he made using Audio Kit Pro's Nerd Synth. All right, do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better, and we'll all rise together. Stay awake. Yeah, you ready to oge? Let's oge. Oh, yeah.